We start with pre-Pilates exercises to warm up the spine and help you tap into your deep lower abdominals. Start by curling yourself halfway down the spine, keeping your hands planted in back of the knees. Allow your elbows to straighten, but don't move your hands. Really exhale and press the navel right into the spine to feel your lower back opening deeper into the mat. For more challenge, move the hands closer to the pelvis so your arms fully straighten and just the shoulder tips come to the mat. Scoop deeply up, try not to let your shoulders come forward, and feel yourself articulate each bone of your spine all the way down into the mat. These can be repeated 3 to 6 times. A modified version of the hundreds can also be done in this position, keeping your knees bent and on the mat. The Pilates stance is the stance we keep the feet in all the time we're working. Legs are rotated externally 3 to 4 fingers distance to activate the glutes. We start our Pilates workout by coming all the way down onto the back, rolling with control down from a standing position, and right away we go into the 100 position. Roll the head, neck, and shoulders up, extend the legs out, and start to vigorously pump your arms. Big breath in for 5 counts, big breath out for 5 counts, repeating for 10 sets. Be sure to keep the legs in your Pilates stance. Heels together, toes are rotated apart, about 3 to 4 fingers distance. Press the heels strongly together to activate your gluteals. Keep the breath consistent with the pumping of the arms, and really feel yourself breathing all the air into the lungs and exhaling all the air out to really wake up your circulatory and respiratory systems. And then we roll all the way down with control. Next, we take the roll up. On your inhale, extend the arms and roll your spine all the way up, lengthening the lower back over the legs. Exhale your way all the way down, moving each one of your vertebrae deeply into the mat. Big breath in to lengthen your spine up, stretch from your lower back, and then exhale, stretch the legs in opposition and start to think about the Pilates two-way stretch. The spine irons out into the mat, one bone at a time, exhaling the navel against the spine to control your descent. Use the breath to help you lift up and over the legs, taking that big stretch from the spine rather than from the shoulders, leaving your heels in one place the whole time you're working. Repeat 6 to 8 times. Our next exercise is the single leg circle. Start by stretching one leg up to the ceiling while you flex the opposite leg down into the mat. Point and flex the ankle a few times and then lower your body all the way down into the mat. The leg circles across the body, around and up, only about as wide as your shoulders. Do this 5 times and then reverse direction. Be sure to keep the hips and shoulders firmly anchored into the mat. Think of standing into your arms. So your body is square, shoulders and hips are aligned, and only the working leg is circling. The rest of the body is still. We transition to the next exercise through a full roll-up. The next exercise is rolling like a ball. Place your hands by your hips and lift your hips up to your heels. Wrap your hands deeply around your ankles and fold yourself into a little ball. As you roll backwards and forwards, keep your head right in between the knees. Heels are pressing deeply towards the hips to help you open up that lower back. Repeat 6 to 8 times. We transition back down onto the spine, taking a full roll down, and start to move into the ab series of 5. Start with a single leg stretch. Pull the right knee into the chest and pulse it twice. The same hand goes around the outside ankle, opposite hand to the inside knee. Really work the hip flexors. Keeping that deep scoop in the belly, eyes are down on the abdomen. Repeat 6 sets. Next in the ab series is the double leg stretch. Start with the hands wrapped around the ankles and simultaneously exhale the arms and legs in opposition, flattening the stomach down to the spine as you do so. Be sure not to let your lower back arch, and remember to maintain the Pilates stance through your feet and legs as you're working. Again, 6 to 8 sets. The next exercise we take is the single straight leg stretch. Scissor the legs and pull the top leg towards you 2 times. Think of a stretch, stretch, and stretch, stretch. Elbows draw back, the nose is pointed towards the knee, and the gaze is down on the abdominals. Repeat 6 to 8 times, trying not to bend the knee, and keep the tailbone heavily anchored into your mat. Next, we move into the double straight leg stretch. Stack the hands in back of the head and lift the legs to 90 degrees. Take 3 counts to lower the legs down to 45 degrees and up on 1 count. Exhale, down, 2, 3, lift 1, and down, 2, 3, lift 1. The pattern can be reversed, down on 1 count and up 2, 3. Down 1 and up 2, 3. Repeat 3 of each cadence. Finally, we move into the crisscross. Rotate your opposite elbow to the knee. Make sure the elbow and the knee meet in your midline, over the navel. Upper body is moving side to side, but the hips remain nice and square on the mat. Keep your elbows nice and wide, and try to lift both shoulder blades off the mat as you work. Take crisscross a little bit more slowly than the other abdominal series, and repeat 3 to 6 sets. Think of wringing out your lungs and really look to the back elbow for a big stretch. We transition through a full roll up. Sitting up nice and tall, open the legs a little bit wider than your hips for the spine stretch forward. This is a breathing exercise. Really exhale all the air out of your lungs and inhale to refill the lungs. Ideally, the head comes down right between your thighs. So remember, you're trying to stretch your spine, not your hamstrings. Think of a lift up and over, really pulling the belly back, stretching deeply from the lower back. Maintain the flexion in your ankles and press the heels away as you stretch forward. This can be repeated 6 times. Finally, we turn onto the stomach for the SWAN prep, moving into extension. Stack your hands under your forehead, keeping the hands and the forehead connected. Take a deep breath in and lift just your upper back. Think of really waking up your postural back muscles. Belly button, navel is pinned right up to the spine, so as you lift, try not to collapse in your lower back. For more challenge, extend the arms out to the side and really open up your chest as you inhale the head up and down. Press the feet firmly down into the mat and think of getting a 2-way stretch in your body as you lift up. Release yourself down to the mat and press back into a round child's pose so the back remains softly rounded. Hands can come back by the heels. For more challenge, we move into some exercise progressions. First is the corkscrew. The legs lift up to the ceiling and circle the width of each shoulder, traveling from the right shoulder to the left shoulder and back through your center. Then reverse your direction each time, moving vigorously with the breath. Hands are stacked long by your sides, and again think of standing into your arms. The shoulders and the hips remain flat on the mat while the legs move in isolation. Transition up through a full roll up. Come to sit up nice and tall. And we'll take a modified version of the saw. So we twist the spine over the right knee and inhale all the way up. Heels remain in place. Be sure to move from just your upper body, not letting the pelvis twist as you rotate through your rib cage. Really use the breath here. Big breath in and exhale all the air out of your lungs. Feel the sit bones reaching in opposition as you dive forward. Keep the opposite hip down firmly into your mat. Chest is nice and open. The arms remain stretched horizontally. We have another rolling exercise called the seal. Wrap your hands around the outside of your ankles and, like rolling like a ball, come into a C curve. We clap the feet 3 times at the top of the movement, stabilize, clap 3 times in the rollover phase. Lift up and clap 3 times, roll back, clap 3 times. This can be repeated up to 6 times. Use the deep lower abdominals to control the movement through the spine. Avoid using momentum. Finally, we finish our workout with a classic push-up. Walk down your body 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk out to the mat to plank pose, 4 counts. Take 3 tricep presses, keeping the heels lifted, elbows tucked right in by your side ribs. Round the spine, stretch the back of your calves and walk yourself in for 4 counts. Walk back up the body, 1, 2, 3, 4 with a big stretch. We repeat this 3 times. As you walk out, engage the powerhouse. The belly button pulls up and the glutes are really actively involved in holding the hip bones up. The neck does not sag. Round the spine in, walk yourself back in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really press the heels down as soon as you can to get that stretch. Last set, walking all the way out. And again, be mindful to keep the powerhouse lifted to control the weight of the pelvic bones. No sagging. Neck is long. On your last one, walk it back in and take a moment to find a deep stretch with your hands near your ankles. Big breath in and big breath out, softening the head into the knees. Walk back up your legs and with control, stretch all the way up and you've finished.